What it do, YouTube? It's your boy Lil Trady. I'm back with another video, and this is my second video for my new channel. And what games that we seen today? I'm in talking about all-time great games. But I'm finna kick off with I didn't see the Miami Heat versus Atlanta Hawks game because I was out doing something. But it was a blowout. I ain't gonna lie, it was a blowout. Miami came in there and looked like the number one seed, as they beat the living dog shit out the Atlanta Hawks, like obliterated them. As Jimmy Butler, man, doing everything, obviously on the defensive side of the ball, had 21 points. And shout out to Duncan Robinson, man, the great value Klay Thompson. Let me not be corny here, but Duncan Robinson, man, he had a great game. 27 points and 8 threes, I believe. Yeah, 8 threes. Yeah, that was a great performance by Duncan Robinson. And all the other Miami players also stepped up. Bam Adebayo, all the other guys. Man, they just came in there and looked like the number one seed that we used to them seeing. Because I know it's just one game. We're not just going to over-exaggerate. Because we all know at the Atlanta Hawks, they can just bounce back anytime. But Miami, they need to keep up this same energy. Because if they can, ooh, we could see another finals appearance for the Miami Heat, but they gotta keep up the same energy. It can't just be one game. It's gotta be throughout the whole series, especially against this grindy Atlanta Hawks team. Because Atlanta, they don't go away without a fight. They're not that easy to take down. They show resilience and they show grit and grind. We seen it last year as they made the conference finals and beat the number one seed on the way to the conference finals in the Philadelphia 76ers. But speaking of the Atlanta Hawks, not a great performance by the Hawks, as Trae Young was held to only 8 points on, I believe, 1 of 12 shooting and 0 of 7 from 3. Yeah, I think Trae, he could do a little bit better, and he's capable of doing something better. As we seen in the past, Trae Young has bad games, but the next game, he comes back and looks like Steph Curry the next game and drops like 30 or 40 points or some shit. So I know Trey can do better, and everybody else really didn't do that good. John Collins, despite his return, didn't do that much. Kevin Herter, Bogdanovich, all those guys are inconsistent a little bit. And they're still missing Clint Capella. As Clint Capella, he still is a key role to that team because he's arguably their best defender. As Capella is out with a knee injury that he suffered against the Cleveland Cavaliers, as Evan Mobley landed on his knee and hyperextended it. So I don't know when Capella's gonna return, but I don't know if he's gonna be out for the rest of the series. But I'm hoping he come back for the series because the Hawks, they really need him. Because the Heat, they were kind of feasting in that paint. I ain't gonna lie. Because the Atlanta Hawks in the paint, they are not that good. Like, they are bottom last when it comes to points per game in the paint. Bottom last. So Capella, he's been kind of carrying that defense in the paint a little bit. So they really need Capella. But outside of that, great game for the Miami Heat. See if the Atlanta Hawks can bounce back for game 2. And the next game, my favorite game of the day, Boston Celtics versus Brooklyn Nets. What a fucking game. What a game. And shout out to that man, Jayson Tatum, as he hit the game-winning layup. He did a little spin move on Kyrie. And shout out to Marcus Smart for dishing him that assist. And Tatum doing that spin move and hit the game-winning layup. And no cap, I was a little bit nervous. I ain't gonna cap. Because, to be honest, I really thought the Celtics were gonna fuck that up. I ain't gonna cap. I thought Tatum was gonna like hit a mid-range shot, but he hit the layup, and the Boston Celtics take a 2-1-0 lead in this best-of-7 series. And this is gonna be one hell of a series. Like, I swear to God, because last year it really wasn't much, because we all knew that the Nets was gonna win that series, because they had 3 superstars on that team, and the Celtics only had 1, because people forget Jaylen Brown didn't play in the first round last year due to a wrist injury, I believe. So, but Jaylen Brown's back. And Jaylen Brown, he had some big-ass shots in the fourth quarter, despite his nose bleeding. But he was still out there being aggressive, and he getting his buckets. And he made some critical defensive stops. I remember that one block that he had on I believe Bruce Brown. Yeah, Bruce Brown. He had that chase down block. So yeah, shout out to JB for that. And Jayson Tatum, like I said, had a great game, 31 points, including the game winning layup. And also Al Horford and Marcus Smart, their contributors not only on offense, but on defense, especially Marcus Smart with big defensive plays. And Al Horford, he was looking like Atlanta Hawks Al Horford, like for real. Yes, he was doing everything on offense and on defense. And he was hustling. So shout out to Al Horford. And for the Nets, look, Kyrie had a great game. Kyrie played phenomenal. Believe he had 18 points in the fourth quarter, hit some big shots. So shout out to Uncle Drew. But Kevin Durant, unacceptable performance. Sure, KD hit a couple of shots, but he did not play well. He did not play well in the first half, as KD was taking just careless, taking stupid shots, even though he be taking them at times, be making them at times, but KD, man, he was playing careless ass basketball as he was turning the ball over. He was just shooting over a lot of people. And sure, that's his game, but he was shooting over two niggas, two people. So KD, I think he needs to be better, and he's capable of doing better. Just like I said for Trae Young. I know KD could do better than that, but not a great performance by Kevin Durant whatsoever. Because with Kyrie Irving, your co-star, having 39 points, a great performance, if you would just played up to your standards, let's be real, y'all would have blew the Celtics off the floor in game one if you would have just showed up. So KD, you need to get your shit together for game two, and I know you can. And I expect KD to come in and drop like 30 points or something, because he kind of looked like 2016 Kevin Durant against the Golden State Warriors. Just turn the ball over, taking unnecessary shots. Like KD, he needs to be better. But outside of that, well, but Goran Dragic, shout out to Goran Dragic. He hit some big shots. Because let's be real, he kind of outplayed KD in the first half. Like, let's be real. KD, you can't allow Goran Dragic to outplay you. Come on, Kevin. Come on, Kevin. Gotta be better than that. But still a great game. Boston Celtics got the win. And see if the Nets can bounce back for game two and tie up the series at one game apiece. And then the third game, man, let's be real. That was one of the worst offensive games that I have ever seen. The Bucks and the Bulls. It was a great game, don't get me wrong, but that was one of the most confusing games that I have ever seen. Like, people were just turning the ball over, jacking up stupid shots, like careless passes. Like, I don't even know what I was watching. But hey, the defending champs got the win. Shout out to them. Shout out to Giannis. He had a good game, 27 points, but and also had 5 fouls. But speak of horrible performances, that brings me to the men's of the hour, Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday. Talk about inconsistencies. Chris Middleton was abysmal. Drew Holiday looked like Eric Bledsoe 2.0, as I believe Middleton shot 5 of 17, I believe. Correct me wrong down in the comment section. And sure, Drew Holiday did hit a big three to give him that momentum, but Drew didn't play that great neither. Drew Holiday was making stupid passes. He was jacking up dumb threes. And Chris Middleton, you're not off the hook neither, because you were jacking up a lot of dumb shots too. And you were turning the ball over. Like, that was just sloppy possession by both Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday. And we see, and this is not something new. We seen this. Like, we seen this in the past. Not just this year, but last year. And though they won the championship, let's not forget, Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday, they didn't have the best performances. Especially Drew. Drew in some games was shooting like 5 of 20 and 0 of 7 from 3. Just jacked up a bunch of stupid threes. And sure, he was good on the defensive side of the ball, don't get me wrong. But Drew Holiday on offense is so inconsistent. and Chris Middleton as well. And I know they can do better than that, especially Chris. But we got to wait until game 2. Maybe Chris Middleton might have like 40 points or something, because Chris Middleton has those games. First game, he plays like ass. The second game, he plays like Kobe. Third game, ass. Fourth game, Kobe. Like, Chris Middleton is such a confusing player. And he proved that he could win a championship as a number 2 guy. But some games, he looks like a role player. And Drew Holiday looks like Eric Bledsoe in some games. But hey, Drew Holiday, he did do a good job on defense. Shout out to Drew for that. But the Bucks, not the best performance, but they still got the dub. And shout out to Brook Lopez. He is some wild ass shots. I ain't gonna cap. Because Brook Lopez, he was hitting a lot of momentum shots. And that momentum got the Bucks that win. But for the Bulls side, not a great performance. DeMar DeRozan, a disgusting performance. Straight up abysmal. Looking like Toronto Raptors DeMar DeRozan out there. Guy was just jacking up everything. Just jacking up shots. Shot 6 of 25 from the field. Had 18 points. Unacceptable by DeMar DeRozan. I even made a video about the 4 players that have the most to prove. And DeMar DeRozan is one of them. And he's starting to let me down right now. Because he's starting to remain on that list. Because guys like Jimmy Butler, they're proving something. Guys like Karl-Anthony Towns, they're proving something. Hell, even Pascal Siakam. Sure, they lost, but he didn't have a bad performance. You're the only one on that list that had a bad performance. And that's starting to look bad. And if DeRozan, if he keeps up this type of performance, shooting 6 of 24 and only having like 16 or 18 points, yeah, we're going to have a real discussion about this. Because DeMar DeRozan isn't out there shooting like 50% like he did in the regular season for like 10 straight games and averaging over like 35 a game. No, this is the playoffs where you define your legacy. And DeMar DeRozan, he has defined nothing. We seen it in Toronto. We seen it in Game 7 versus the Nuggets. And now we're seeing it right now. So DeRozan, get your shit together, bro. Because if you're not, y'all might be bounced out a little bit early. And Zach LaVine, he did hit some big shots. I'll give him that. But he did have 5 fouls. And some of those were costly fouls. I ain't going to cap. So I think LaVine needs to be better about controlling his contacts and stuff. But DeMar DeRozan, just an abysmal performance. And DeRozan, you need to play better next game. Because y'all go down 2-0 and you play like shit again and again. Yeah, the talks about DeRozan being a little bit boosted, yeah, we're going to have a little bit of talk about that. But that concludes this video. What y'all think? Make sure y'all like, subscribe to my channel. This your boy Lil Trady signing out. Peace.